CEO Wisdom podcast, guys, with Ben Juson. He is CEO entrepreneur at Tru29. So we're going to discuss CEOship. We're going to discuss Ben's background, which is quite fascinating. He is in the Philippines. Ben, welcome to the pod. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Charles. A bit about myself. I don't know. There's a ton of things that I'd like to say about myself, but I guess one thing that I could, just a quick one would be, I'm not your usual CEO, who has money and just thought of putting up a business. I never even graduated college and started out as an ordinary employee before putting up my own business. And up until now, what I'm busy with basically is growing the business that I've established, some years ago. Trying to build a group of companies around Tru29.
Interesting. Tell us about Tru29, like BPO. To me, there's so many other BPOs out there. They're tough to sell. Like what will you do different? In my opinion, like BPO, it's about quality nowadays, especially in the age of AI and GPT and AI. You can't be, that 7 on 10 BPO. So how does Tru29 distinguish itself from the other BPO competition out there?
Well, I guess we're the only one, or I don't know if there is in other countries, but here in Manila, we were the only, and up until now, we're the only BPO company that actually accepts any size of outsourcing. I mean, we've got clients who only needed one agent for the past 10 years, and we're still here with them. They're still with us. We've been working it throughout with them. So I guess that's one of the distinguishing factor about Tru29. We don't care how big the client is. We're not after the profit. Profit obviously is something needed by any business, but for us it's secondary. Well, we what when I actually launched or established my BPO business, uh, the profit I thought for myself would follow as long as I'm able to provide what is needed by the client. You see, it's quite an interesting story. I was actually a call center agent back then for this. I couldn't say the company name, but it's a very big computer manufacturer based in the United States. Now they used to have a lifetime free technical support. I mean, imagine, all of those small business owners, instead of buying other products, they'd buy that brand, because as a small business owner, why would you rather hire an IT when you can just buy that brand, and then if you need technical help, just ring them up. Eh, but obviously, cut. Yeah, they needed to cut costs, and these clients, they somehow became my friends already through the years while I'm helping them out. So I said, where will these people go? And when we started offering limited 1 year technical support, after that you'd have to pay. I mean, I actually felt, that, hey, these people just want to earn money. These people just want to have a small business. They couldn't afford an IT personnel to be hired full time. That's where it actually began. I wanted to come up with a BPO company that truly provides a service that would suit their needs, uh, rather than BPOs, thinking, okay, we've got a minimum, because that's usually the standard. There's a minimum number of agents or service or quantity before you can actually outsource. That's the reason why there's a lot of freelancers out there nowadays, because all of these small, medium-sized business owners doesn't know where to go. I mean, if they go to these big BPOs or you know, uh, yeah, as big as Accenture, do you think they would even welcome you if you just need, hey, I just need a part timer, 4 hours a day? They wouldn't even budge a finger. That's the main difference, I guess, which made us click.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we've got small clients only. In fact, we've actually grown. We've actually grown from the time that we've set up. We well, basically right now about 60% I can say is about small to medium sized outsourcing clients. But the remaining 40%, they're actually big companies already. So this quality service that we were showing to the global market, I guess somehow it caught the attention of big players out there as well.
Yeah, congrats on that. A BPO, like, I mean, you have around 50-ish employees as of now, is that correct?
No, 500 plus.
Okay, because your LinkedIn page says 50. So 500 plus, yeah, especially the big businesses, I guess they hire quite a lot, right? And that can scale.
Correct.
And the business model is, I don't know, you sell their time at $6 an hour. Well, you pay
There
them
are
$6 an hour, but you sell their time at 10. Is that the business model?
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. That, however, as you mentioned earlier, uh, the thing about nowadays, the technical revolution out there. So we actually wanted to stay. I call this stay in the game. Instead of marketing ourselves as just a company that will provide you cheap labor, we've also started to innovate. So right now we actually got clients who outsource their business processes to us, but they were actually not paying us per hour per person because we're actually using chat gpt and ai technologies as well. I mean, we got a client right now based in the United States. They're an ai company.
Mhm.
They needed to do some machine learning processes. Now we said sure, why not? We have our own system. Unless you want us to use your system, then this is how we'll do it. Blah blah blah. So uh, it's not all about cheap manpower.
Right.
What we tried to do. The good thing about technology nowadays, you know what? I actually think of it as an advantage. It's actually an advantage. A lot of people would say, with the advent of AI and new technology, a lot of people will lose their job. Not in our case. It actually created new jobs, just like back in the Industrial Revolution back in the 1800s. Sure, when the train got, widely used in the United States, all of those, the couriers, the guys riding the horse to deliver the package from one state to the other, obviously they lost their livelihood. But with the new train railway system, it actually created new jobs for them. So
Right.
you just need to think out of the box, and that's basically what we did.
And how do you train your employees to adapt to that mindset and be more entrepreneurial, be more creative and solution oriented rather than reactive and 9 to 5 mentality?
Well, that's one good thing about us. We highly encourage diversity and creativity within our organization. In fact, we have what we call an open door policy. Not necessarily open door because you can go straight to the CEO or the HR manager, so you can complain or whine. But we've got this concept of open door policy that if even if you're just a janitor and you've got an idea, we hear them out and we reward them for it. That way, everyone is motivated to think out of the box and see how much more we can improve our services for our clients and make them more happy. At the same time, it makes our office more lively because it became like some sort of a game to them, and that's the kind of environment that I really wanted because I used to be an employee myself. I don't want a dull, boring environment because I got used to that kind of environment. 9 to 5, you're just in front of the computer. I mean, come on. So I actually stopped that. People in the floor is actually having fun. They're laughing. They're doing jokes at the same time earning and helping our clients grow their business.
Love it. Let's talk about numbers here. So I did some quick napkin math with 500 employees that are placed, $10 an hour. That is billed. Let's call it that way, 40 hours a week. So it's like 1,600 per month, and that's around 12 to 13K per year. And then you do times 500. That is a $10 million business a year that I would have if that would be the case. Is that like somewhat accurate mathematics?
It actually is. You're almost right on spot, my friend.
But these are big numbers. Like that's somewhat impressive. And let's say that the margins, like I own various agencies too. Obviously it's payroll extensive that eats up our margin, but let's say that the margins are 20%. That's $2 million in your pocket on a yearly basis. Like that's pretty impressive.
It is. It is. And that's what I like about this kind of business. We were able to create a revenue that allows us to grow even further. We didn't actually use the profit to buy a new Lamborghini or buy I don't know with
Mention.
other CEOs or businessmen. I still drive my old Mitsubishi sedan. Uh, what we did with the income is actually put up other businesses.
Hmm.
We want to expand. We
The
want to
export one,
grow.
the software one that I saw. So
Yep,
the
we went
branches.
into correct. We branched out. We branched out. So we are now we've set up True Engine, which is a technology company. We're now actually creating an accounting system all in one with an inventory and a HRIS platform, payroll system all in one. It's pretty
Hmm.
much like an intranet work
Hmm.
for one of the government agencies here in the Philippines. And basically, we thought about that from having this BPO. Because remember earlier, I told you, hey, we need to be innovative. We wanted to make sure that BPO stays relevant by coming up with new ideas, not just cheap labor, but so we got AI, we got system and technology. So we thought, hey, if we could do this, then perhaps we can set up a technology company as well. They don't have to be all in California.
Yep.
They don't have to be all in Silicon Valley.
Right.
Uh, in fact, we got a lot of clients. Uh, a very big, a very big self-driving car company actually in United States is
Okay.
actually outsourcing to us, and our programmers or developers, the techie guys who creates all of those codes that I couldn't even read. uh, they're Filipinos. We've got them there. We got an abundance of them. So I said, hey, let's do this. So we started that off. And then about a couple of months ago, we also just launched True Cafe because I love coffee, not
I love
necessarily for
coffee
anything
too.
else. Just oh great, yeah, got one here.
There you go. Cheers.
Yes. So yeah, it's set up True Cafe, and it allowed us to hire more people at the same time, give more jobs out there. So we're basically giving back to the community by doing that.
Hmm. Love it, man.
And then just last 1st of June, we launched True Exports, which is mainly more on the trading part, but focused on environment related type of products. We were focusing on scrap metals and recycling, basically. So we export those things because there's not much recycling plant here in the Philippines, to be honest. So
Right.
we're working with some companies out there in Singapore. We bring all of these materials over there, get it recycled over there, bring them back here. Made
Interesting.
it
Love it.
cheaper. Yeah, made it cheaper and contributed even a very small uh, a very small act for Mother Earth.
Yeah, and that's great. And you're growing, you're expanding, you're in the abundant state, but it wasn't always that way. In your case, right? You grew up
True.
pretty much from nothing. You didn't have parents growing up. So how does it feel nowadays that you have hit this success? Like, do you ever stop and ponder upon your life and how you went from zero to one?
You did your research, huh? So yeah, you're right. Uh, yeah, it wasn't it was a tough life for me. No parents or anything like that. A support group or something, and not just about the money. It's the support group. If you got that family that supports you can actually achieve almost anything. But I didn't have both of it. I didn't have the money. I didn't have that support group. So when you said, didn't you ponder or how was it? It's really hard, mate. So this time around, what I thought was, hey, how can I give back to the community? That I don't know. I'm not trying to be noble, but it somehow became like uh, an intuition to me.
A fire in the heart.
Yeah, that's right. So I actually, unlike other companies, uh, they wouldn't hire you if you're not a college graduate, got tons of experience. I actually give people who are high school graduates. Some people doesn't even know how to speak English, and I'll try to create a job for them. And because of that technology, AI and Chat GPT, we were able to, because they didn't need to speak English to be able to learn those things. We can teach them. In fact, we got a lot of those. I've got I got a staff here. He's been with me for what, 7 years now. He used to be our janitor, and now he's one of our supervisors. He used to be just
Love it, man.
mopping the floor, and now he's one of our supervisors. We have a HR supervisor who was what I call this who was rejected by a lot of companies because she was fresh grad. I mean, no one wants to hire a fresh graduate. It would be really hard for you to get a job without some experience out here. And we gave her a chance. We said, okay, let's put you on the phone first, and then after seeing her enthusiasm, obviously she didn't do well. Well, not too well on the calls because she never had experience. That's given. But we saw the enthusiasm. So we said, okay, let's train you in human resources in HR. And now she's a rock star. She's one of our supervisors. And yeah, growing into a manager one of these months to come. So it's giving back, I guess, became like an intuition or a byproduct of where I came from.
Yeah, it's that you reflect on your past. In my case, I mean, I grew up way more privileged than you are, but I still had my struggles, and it's like, how can I get away from the nest that my parents built for me? That's what the kind of problem us privileged kids have. Um, and nowadays I'm seeking to help other kids get education as soon as possible, learn entrepreneurship as young as 13, and have them achieve their financial independence. and whatever the background is this kid has, and even if that kid doesn't have parents and is growing up in this toxic environment or in the streets, for example, so be it. I'll accept them in my program. I'll teach them with, I think with the internet, it's pretty much available to anyone to get on a call, and get some
True.
mentorship and so forth. And that's a strong driver for me, because every time I picture myself in that environment, kind of stuck, studying in the educational system. That's also a privileged kid's problem, to be stuck in the educational system, which was somewhat very toxic for me. I've always been an entrepreneur. Um, and now I really want to help other kids get out of that, because I know the pain, right? And you know the pain of growing up without parents, without people giving you a shot. You had to fight your way through, and you're like, okay, now I don't like the word inclusion, but it's giving people a shot at success, right? Once you give them the shot, if they don't take the shot at the goal, it's pretty much their problem. But let's have them have a shot at least at the net, and the more
A
shots they can
chance.
have, the better. My last question for you, Ben, is where do you want to take the business this year? What's next for Tru29?
Well, actually, we've got a 7 years roadmap that I designed a few years ago. Before the end of this year, we'd like to double the number of employees that we've got. And then just not look inside of our country in terms of expansion. But before the end of this year, we're hoping that we're gonna be launching our office in Singapore, and then opening up another office in United States. Hopefully, in another one in California. We've already got one there. In Newark, and I'm hoping somewhere in southern side, we're gonna put something up and help you know clients out there, as well as provide employment to all the people out there, because outsourcing doesn't need to be offshore. United States, a lot of politicians are using it for making them look good. But to be honest, I mean, come on, what does really outsourcing means? It simply means that you're giving the work to another company and let them perform it. So it doesn't matter where the office is. They're making a devil out of the outsourcing name, when in fact even their own people can benefit from it. And then we've started doing it. Actually, we got about a dozen. So it's not too much. We got about a dozen employees back there in California. We were providing mostly developers for some other companies out there. So that's basically what we wanted to do. We don't want to keep it here in the Philippines. We want to expand globally.
Right. And I fully agree, like that's why they use words like offshoring. It's like the people that cheat the taxes. It's like the same connotation, offshoring, and I fully
Yeah,
agree. Any nationalist speech is mostly dumb. I think we do need a part of that's like the testosterone part of us, oh, my country, I'm Canadian. I don't have that personally. I'm like citizen of the internet, and I'm weird. A bunch of kids are like me also, but I do believe that, in a world of globalization, especially, we're just gonna anyone is gonna trade with anyone, whatever their nationality. So just embrace that while it's there. Any other rhetoric to keep jobs local is dumb. It's not scalable. It's
I
like
agree.
me talking to French entrepreneurs, and them, being very nationalist and so forth. And yeah, we have employees, we treat them right. But no, you're in 2023. By default, you're competing at an international level. Even if you're a small business, even if you're brick and mortar and selling chocolate in the street, you are competing against Amazon. Amazon also sells chocolate. And guess what? You're competing
True.
against this Mexican company that does ads in the US to sell their own chocolate. You're competing against Lindt, a Swiss chocolate company. So, come in these day and age. And yeah, super glad that we've talked, Ben, because you've got the wind in your cells. I really like that. I love your energy. I think what you've accomplished is amazing. So yeah, take time and and reflect on that. Pat yourself on the back. Enjoy the view. Good job. Where can people find
Thank
out more about you and Tru29?
Well, yeah. Well, basically, if you want to find out more, just go to our website www.tru29.com. Our contact details are there. Yeah, you can search us in Facebook and all other social media platforms as well.